I survived for almost 4 days with no electricity, and it's because of a storm that especially impacted my area as of May 21st, 2022 at around 5 p.m. with conditions similar to this, which is by the way from the same storm that has hit numerous areas, which I'll explain to you in a moment. So yes, I lost electricity from May 21st, 2022 at around 5:07 p.m. and I just got my electricity back earlier today on May 25th at around 10:50 a.m. That's almost 4 days with no electricity. And let me just give you a small backstory to what's happened, okay? So initially I was like cooking dinner around the afternoon hours. Everything was fine and the sun was still out with some clouds here and there. Okay, I guess. I was cooking oven roasted potatoes. I was in my living room and then I was looking outside, like a cloud moved in and it rained intensely. It just poured. Like within seconds, it just poured like heavily. And then after a few seconds, it started calming down and started raining less after like so on, so often. That was around like 4:40 p.m. that day on May 21st. Then a few moments later, at around 4:46, we were issued an Amber Alert from Environment Canada, which this doesn't exactly say what the environment, the Amber Alert was, but in general, after reading this text, it's only somewhat similar, but they announced through the Amber Alert that basically cut all the audio from the show that my dad was watching, that we were watching in the living room, and it played a playback sound immediately after cutting that sound, playing this. And when I hear that sound, and I'm like, oh no, an Amber Alert, what is it? And then it announced, both in French and English, it said that there are conditions of thunderstorms that are favorable for producing heavy rain, damaging winds, and some hail. And these storms are actually favorable enough to be able to produce tornadoes. And it announced that it would produce tornadoes at around those three towns at around, like, it was announced at 4:47 p.m. It was gonna affect those three towns, especially with what could have tornado events. So we were announced a tornado watch for especially those three towns, and I was near those towns. So that's when I got the Amber Alert, and that's when I got scared. So I went downstairs to my computer as my next instinct to look on the radar. So me and Mom were looking at the radar to see when the storm would hit our area. And earlier when we first checked, it was kind of supposed to hit my area at around 6:30 p.m. By the way, we checked this at 4:50. This is like 3 minutes after I've seen the Amber Alert, and I looked outside through my window, which wasn't too bad yet, but that's only then. So around 4:51, I'm looking with Mom on the computer through like a couple of moments, and then a moment later, we see that the radar changed the time frame. So the storm that would have hit my area around 6:30 p.m., it actually was updated to hit my area much earlier at around 5:10 p.m., which shocked me at first. It almost felt like a nightmare coming true. So moments later, when another wave of some storms came in, started having a little more intense thunder and lightning. Not too bad though. Still bad, but not too bad. Was kind of raining a bit, a little wind, which started actually affecting the power lines to the point from 5:04 p.m. that's actually I can visually see the electricity flickering, kind of, but not too bad yet. And then around 5:07 p.m., when we checked the radar enough, I tried to update my Discord fast enough, but finally the Wi-Fi was cut because the electricity was shocked from a lightning bolt. Pretty unfortunate. I would have updated my About Me on Discord, but I didn't have enough time. I was just about to click it when the Wi-Fi just cut, and there was no chance for it to come back again because it just kept flickering on and off every minute, and it takes 2 minutes for the internet to connect back. So I just ditched the computer, I went upstairs, and I was just about to get to my living room when at 5:07 p.m. the electricity cut finally. Just completely cut. So I went to my kitchen, and I went to my window that's almost as tall as me in the kitchen. And I looked out through the window. I was just right against the window just looking out. And finally around 5:10, 5:11 p.m., the storm came. This major storm with heavy wind came. I was literally just looking. I was like, show me your worst, as a joke. Unfortunately, my joke became a reality, and that's when my nightmare came to reality. And trees started swaying hard and just kept swaying harder and harder and harder. Let me give you about a visual explanation to how quote-unquote hard they were swayed, okay? So here's a typical, let's say, tree. That's such an amazing drawing, 10 on 10. So here's, let's say, a tree that would typically normally be standing. How strong were these winds? Well, let's just say about an average drawing, they were swaying really hard, okay? So initially, if a tree would be standing straight upward, how strong were these winds? They started swaying trees like pretty hard, I would say. Like it was almost like slanted 90 degrees practically. And then stupid me, which no one should ever do during a storm, is stare out a window. Like especially that you're up close to it. But me, I didn't see anything really flying around or really looking devastatingly scary that I should walk away from a window like urgently. Like I shouldn't even have been there in the first place. But I took my risk, I took my chance, and I'm still fine. So, nothing major happened, nothing damaged the window. There wasn't really that much debris flying around, but trees were swaying super hard. And that's really the biggest event of the entire storm that has done super, super damages. Now, like I said, my power was already out for like a few minutes from 5:07 p.m. and this major part of the storm finally hit around 5:11 p.m. So from that day, and I was looking, I was like, it was literally like, I was trying to look in the sky to see if I could see a funnel or something because it looked really scary. Like wind was blowing rain so hard, it almost looked like I was inside of a tornado practically. But there wasn't any tornado. It was just what would be called a derecho, which I'll explain to you guys what it is later on. So I was trying to look for a funnel, but there was no funnel. Instead, it was just that storm that hit. And that's when I've seen a few days later, that is the main effect that has damaged numerous power poles. Like throughout the province that was affected, mostly in the southeastern areas. I'll show you guys a map. So this is the area that this derecho had affected. And of course, I'm not as far down to Toronto and below, so forget that area, I would say. Though I still feel bad for the lives lost. I give my condolences to you guys. I'm so sorry to you. But let's just say around the Montreal area. That is when... Oof. Dear Lord. That's the area that got hit around like 5 p.m.-ish. So considering that literally it lasted from 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m., taking over this entire span of distance on May 21st, just the day before my birthday. Wow. Yeah. Happy birthday to me from Mother Nature, I guess. I guess it didn't want to hurt me because, happy birthday to me. But, like, at the same time, why do I get that as a birthday gift of all things? Thank you, Mother Nature, but don't. But, yeah. That was pretty bad, I would say. It was not that good, okay? A little more details that happened nearby on highway or like auto road, I would say 337. Apparently there was a pole that I have actually personally seen completely snapped in half. I didn't take pictures of because I don't have a camera or a phone to take pictures with, unfortunately, so I can't show you guys. And there was, from what my parents or brothers told me, there was actually a complete like snow shed, let's say. It's called a tempo. If you want to look it up on Google, it's basically like a temporary, let's say, skeleton with a plastic cover on it to protect your car from snow. And there was that whole structure that was completely hanging on one of the power lines in between two poles, completely just hanging there in the middle of an open field. And apparently, as well as that, my parents have told me that the poles were completely like swayed over, like hard. Like if you would be standing upright 9 degrees as it normally should, it was probably almost like 30 degrees off at average. Like the worst would probably be like 40 degrees even, like off from its standing upright angle, which is really unsafe. And a lot of poles were damaged too, so to have no electricity for 4 days, it kind of makes sense, especially since it was a holiday. So here are some images that I found online that shows on average the damages that have been done. So this is of course caused by the derecho, which is, I'll explain to you in a moment. This is basically what the derecho has done. It just knocked over many power poles, snapped them in half. Some of you may be questioning, why the hell do you have power poles in the air? Well, unfortunately, a $2.5 million company has not yet discovered that you can plug electricity into their ground safely, somehow. There's another pole that was completely snapped, like, my gosh, you can see the wire hanging on the roof of the building. That's pretty bad. This is actually real life that's happened. Like, crazy. Here's another pole that was like completely snapped over and fell over, and there's a transformer that's right there. That's basically, if I could give a guess on what a transformer is, it's that silver cylinder thing that's on the ground there, as you can see. That's not supposed to be on the ground first of all. It's supposed to be hanging nearly the top of the pole, near the lines. But that's basically like essential to push more electricity out. That stores electricity and pushes it out safely, of course, holding a safe voltage. That's the best I could explain. If someone else could explain it for me, or if something, please help me out. So anyways, let's go back to this image. The derecho. What is a derecho? What I've heard is it's a extended span of thunderstorms that moves quickly and has an extensive rate of wind that does tremendous damage. Almost feels like a hurricane, though it moves quickly, doesn't affect an area for long, and it just moves like that. It's almost like a tornado slash hurricane without a hurricane or tornado being physically in place. It's just there to exist, to blow the frick out of everything and just move on, like, quickly. As you can see here, it was pretty bad. Oof. That's what I've went through. That's what I've went through. Of course, yeah, I'm an idiot for standing in front of the window. You should never stand in front of a window during a severe storm like that, ever. Okay, guys? Don't do what I did. Of course, I care so much, so I do it anyways. But, no, I didn't really see anything flying around. I didn't see much debris or twigs. Or I didn't really see anything flying around. I still saw birds flying, so I was like, I guess it kind of is safe to stare out this window. So I kept staring at it, and frick, it was scary as hell to stare through. Pretty scary. The fear only lasted for a few moments, but then I was like, shit. I wonder what the damages are. And yeah, that's damages. Literally, just yesterday night, I was with my brother buying A&W takeout because we still didn't have power yesterday. And I was looking at some power poles that he told me some of them were slanted, literally almost fallen on the road practically, or fallen off the road onto the farmland. It was so slanted off. They fixed a majority of it, which is respectable. There was even one pole that I don't think they've repaired yet, but it's completely snapped in half, like just snapped. The wire is still hanging normally as it could, but it's completely snapped, and I should go into more detail, but at the same time I've already spent 15 minutes talking about how I went through 4 days without power. Yeah, I went through 4 days with almost no electricity. Imagine. I actually lived that. Well, of course, my fridges started smelling and everything defrosted, and my birthday cake that actually was, let's say, a part ice cream cake with other toppings basically melted too much and would have caused more of a mess if we would have left it for any longer. So we made the decision to completely throw everything out. So there's my birthday cake completely gone because we had no refrigeration unit. So happy birthday me for that. And we had this storm that literally reported almost 1 million residents with missing power because of the storm. And I don't even want to talk about the casualties, because if I do, I'm so sorry for the casualties that have happened. But I am sorry that it's happened, and I'm just gonna be so apologetic about you. You know, whatever. I'll be so apologetic. You know, I'll be saying sorry so much for it. I'm sorry that's happened to you guys. Okay, but I'm fine. My house is fine. My backyard's fine. Nothing major happened, and just an added note to all this. There was a lot of people buying generators and stealing generators from other people just to power their own basic supplies because of the storm. Wow. So yeah, guys, there you go. I've went through a derecho, which is not very common to have, especially that's where I live is nearly super rare to ever happen. It's like once in a lifetime almost, for me at least, because it's never happened to me ever in my life. And now I just turned 21, and great. A storm happening on the 21st of May, especially that this month there was a Friday the 13th. What bad luck is that? Right. Well, anyways, for all those members who wished me happy birthday on Discord, for all the people, friends who wished me happy birthday on Facebook, and for others who in the future would wish me a happy birthday, whoever doesn't know yet, they can still wish me happy birthday because I just got my electricity back earlier today at 10:50 a.m. So I didn't have power at all from 5 in the afternoon on May 21st until 10, almost 11 in the morning on May 25th. Almost 4 days. And I lived through it. Right, guys. So that's all I'm going to talk to you guys about. I'm fine. I'm alive. I'm not hurt. My house is safe. And everything more or less around me is safe, except for some power poles, which I can only guess they can still be repairing soon. And I don't want to make this video any longer. I'm so sorry. But I just wanted to tell you guys this as an update for whoever is interested. And I'll see you guys on future uploads coming very soon. Or a little later than soon. Alright? See you guys soon. And hope everyone is doing well out there, and happy late birthday to me. I got no electricity for me. My cake was thrown out because of a storm that hit me. Alright, see you guys. See you guys in the next one.